Good afternoon. I'm going to try that again. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I would like to open today's remarks with a land acknowledgement. The City of Boston sits on the traditional homeland of the Massachusetts people and neighboring Wampanoag and Nipmuc peoples. Members of these indigenous ancestries stewarded this land for generations, and many continue to reside on this land as part of the greater Boston community. I am proud to stand with members of the Massachusetts tribe and Pockepock and representatives from North American Indian Center of Boston, United American Indians of New England, and the United Confederation of Indigenous Peoples. As Mayor of Boston, I recognize the need for ongoing dialogue with local tribes to address the needs and support the aspirations of Boston's indigenous residents. Boston played a significant role in our country's founding. Boston was the birthplace of the American Revolution, was home to a number of prominent and anti-slavery abolitionists, and has been a training ground for modern-day civil rights leaders. While our history is recognized as a point of pride, it is a complicated history. That history includes the genocide, displacement, and oppression of indigenous peoples who lived here for thousands of years. Our shared history in this city is tainted by colonial violence and systemic exclusion. As the current residents of this land, the City of Boston has an opportunity and an obligation to honor the cultures, experiences, and achievements of indigenous people. Today is a milestone in acknowledging and reckoning with that history. As Mayor of Boston, it is my honor to declare the second Monday of October of each year to be Indigenous Peoples Day in the City of Boston. We will observe this holiday for the first time on October 11th, 2021. This new chapter in Boston's history underscores my effort to make Boston a more just and equitable city. I invite all residents of our city to join me in celebrating the cultural contributions of indigenous peoples and using this day to learn more about our shared and complicated history. Observing Indigenous Peoples Day is about replacing the colonial myths passed down from generation to generation with the true history of the land upon which our nation was founded. As I now sign the executive order, I urge my fellow Boston residents to join me in engaging with their neighbors, not just in conversation, but also in meaningful actions to uphold the rights of indigenous communities. Thank you. I will take a few questions, and I'm going to address that first one right away. The question was about Italian Americans. I think Italian Americans have a rich history in the city of Boston and certainly in our nation. We should celebrate all cultures. And I want to remind everyone here, justice is not a zero-sum game. We can lift up the experiences of indigenous peoples, and we can also respect Italian Americans. Are there other questions? So this is a small step in a long journey around justice in our city. Boston is now one of a dozen, more than 2 dozen municipalities across the Commonwealth to take this step. We've had lots of conversation internally. We've had conversation with Indigenous communities. I've made calls to members of the North End community, specifically here in Boston, as part of this effort. And I am proud to stand here to make sure that we are doing the hard work. Signing an executive order is easy. What is incumbent upon all of us is that we take the steps necessary to understand our complicated history, to make sure that we're lifting up those who for too long have been marginalized, and that we do create space for all of us to enjoy the city of Boston. I don't need to have a public hearing to sign an executive order. What I did do, as I mentioned to you, is I engaged with Indigenous communities. I talked with leaders in the Italian community, particularly in the North End, and that we are joining a number of municipalities across the Commonwealth to take this important step. Are there other questions from the press?
I have an off-topic question, if you don't mind.
We're going to deal with this issue right here, Sean. If you want to talk, we can set you up with our press team later. Are there other questions from the press? Thank you so much.